So, hello everybody, and a warm welcome to you wherever you are around the world. I'm glad to see so many of you out here for our newest episode of our Deep Dives, where we present award-winning solutions from the UX Design Awards Autumn 2023 season. My name is Ake Rudolf. I'm Head of Strategy at International Design Center Berlin and Director of the UX Design Awards. A quick info up front, if you're watching us now live on LinkedIn, just bring in your questions to the event chat or the comments, and we'll bring them into the Q&A after the presentation. If you're on Zoom, you're also very welcome to join live. You can join us regularly, actually, for our deep dives, which feature professionals and companies, and talent tracks with up-and-coming designers. With these events, we offer you valuable insights into design processes and, of course, new developments in the UX domain and way beyond. You can find an extensive library of our events and recordings on our website, uxdesignawards.com. Now to today's deep dive. We're very happy to present a huge e-government project, one that has rebuilt the public services from the ground up. And by doing so, change the relationship between citizens and their public administration. The Diia app that we'll be talking about today brings 25 digital services to more than 19 million Ukrainians, and probably a couple of millions more today. And being open sourced, and that's really a big achievement, its code is being implemented by governments in other countries as well, namely Estonia, Poland, in their own digital identification services. And the awards jury highlighted that Diia connects citizens to government services, which is complex and very often bureaucratic, and few countries actually successfully achieve this. The Diia app, however, can serve as a blueprint for how this might be done in the future. That's the words of the jury. So how did this digital transformation on a national scale work out? We have invited two key people to tell us all about it. So let me introduce them to you. First, we'll have Slava Banik. He is Head of E-Services Development at the Ministry of Digital Transformation of Ukraine. A warm welcome to you, Slava.
Hello. Hello. Glad to see you.
Wonderful to have you. And our second guest is Volodymyr Smyrnov. He is the design director and partner at Spiilka Design. Hi, Volodymyr. How are you?
Hello. Thank you for having me here.
It's great to have you both of us today, especially under hard circumstances. You've been working on Diia for many years, so please tell us more about how you managed to ensure that bureaucracy meets people on an eye level. So the screen is yours. Take it away from here. Looking forward.
Okay, Slav.
Yeah, I'll start. So first of all, I would like to say, I hope you see the presentation. In a couple of seconds, you'll see the slides. Yeah, it's great. So first of all, before I start explaining you something that you might be heard or you expecting for in your work or expect from your governments. First of all, I would like to think that it's necessary to do everything in a right approach. So, and to do everything with the right people, as you see, our cooperation between the government and the wonderful design bureau. And this is not just compliments to the Volodymyr's team. Generally, governments are lazy and governments do not have competitors. And this is the general problem when the citizens, they have to be just to live with that situation when the governments do not want to make a good user experience. The governments do not want to simplify the lives of their people, etc., because everything is working. And you have no any another experience of simplified services, etc. And it's necessary to have the right approach when you can change the things in your country, and it's necessary to be with right people who can do this with you, because sometimes some huge companies can take the tenders from the government because they are huge, They have a great experience, but they have no idea how to do the modern services for people. So it's necessary to be in the right situation. And in a couple of slides, just to to be the reasons for your questions for a Q&A session, I will talk you a little bit more about our approach. Thank you. Next slide, I think. So first of all, as while you will be looking at the slide, I will tell you that Diia, as already were mentioned before, Diia is a state application in Ukraine, and this is not mandatory. So it's like up to people. They can use Diia or can use the web portal, not to use the mobile application. They can use not to use the mobile application and not to use the web portal. They just can in a classic way visit the offline centers for services, etc. But this approach that we are staying in is the mobile application approach and the simplification of the public services. And now Diia is used by 19.8 million of unique people of Ukraine. And this is like up to 80% of all the adult population that we have. And as it's not mandatory, this is a huge indicator that we are on the right way. And why did we started looking into the mobile application area? Because you do not want to have the Uber on the website. For example, you want to have the mobile application and just in your pocket to have the access to necessary services. The same with the governmental services. It's like when we started in 2019, that time already 70% of all the internet traffic was through the mobile phones. So it's better to look into mobile applications area. And first thing about the simplifying, and first thing about our approach, and as we hear about the user experience or citizen experience in Ukraine, is the simplifying of all the forms. So we never have to care our citizen never have to care how does the public service look like under the hood. It's like sometimes like the Christmas socks or Christmas sweaters, when you have a beautiful image, beautiful Santa or penguin on the front of your socks, but on the back, on the under the hood side, this is the absolutely amazing and non-understandable figures that no one have to see. The same with the public services. You just have to build a right business process for everything. To build the integrations between the registries, because government do not have to ask your name while you're applying for the public service online. Government do not have to ask what is your address or what is the names of your kids, or etc., etc., etc. So we always have to build a huge system of the integrations with different kinds of registries, systems, databases, and this is the necessary thing that will be solving the problems of your people, because the first challenge for every person in all the world when the person applies for services is to understand the questions of the services of this application form, and then just to fill a lot of unnecessary information. Sometimes it's even better not to apply for this. Our approach makes that we do everything under the hood on the business process. Then, as you saw on the previous slide, we just simplify everything in the forms, and in the end you do not have to show this all over. So, and in the end you just make a simple form through the mobile application, and we even do not proceed this application forms, because we are not the Ministry of the Public Services. We just Ministry of Digital, and we digitalize this experience for our citizens, and the approach that our citizens are our customers, and we just gather necessary information from the person, then we just add the necessary information from the systems, registries, databases, etc. In the end, we have the complete application form for the person, and we send this to the responsive ministry or responsive entity. Like if you want to open the business through Diia, you can fill 10 fields, and the Ministry of Justice will receive your application form and open for you your business and registry. If you want to pay taxes, or you want to make a tax declaration, you just have to fill this in a simple way on the mobile application, and then we will send this everything to the tax office system. And this is the example that you see now on the screen. This is the one of my favorite examples, because, you know, first of all, taxes is not the like tough for the person, honestly. And the only institution who are interested in paying taxes and making the tax declaration is the government. And the task for the government is to simplify this process. And as more this process will be simple, as more people will do this in the right way, they will not have the penalties or fee, and honestly, they will pay more taxes if this will be clear and simple. And if you make your tax declarations in your countries, you know that there are a lot of information, and most of this information already stored in the database of the tax office system. So what we've done in paper, this is the absolutely huge form in Ukraine, the tax declaration, and even I sometimes order the accountist services for people, right people to fill this form and me not to make any mistakes and not to get any penalties for that. But we understood that we can request everything from the tax office system, pre-fill it, even not showing this to you. Then we just have to ask you for which one period you want to make this tax declaration, and what number of money did you earn this for this time, and that's all. This is the only necessary information from the person to make the tax declaration. Then you have just to review this, to sign this. You see this beautiful girl looks into camera. This is the digital signature based on the biometry of the face, and that's all. And this is the right approach. So we can move to the next slide. And this is the right approach that everyone can pass for this, because it's necessary, you know, as written in different kinds of design books, and every person is the human, and so every person thinks that he or she can make a human-oriented design, and this is not true, because you have to think not about you and not about your experience, because you maybe even be the over-educated or talented person, but it's like you do not have to make the solutions for over-talented person. You just have to make the solutions for everyone. And when you work on this in the area of state solutions, your audience is everyone, as young people, as elder people, people of different kinds of digital skills, people without any digital skills, excluding Viber, YouTube, and maybe something else. And it's also, you have to think about these people, and some models that we use to test our solution. It's like, does grandma will pass the tax declaration, or does grandma will open the small business if she wants, or etc. So it's very necessary to understand and to work with such an audience. And another kind of experience that could be designed by mobile application when you have such a solution in your country. So it's like one of my favorite things that I have, when we had the COVID restrictions, we had the social assistance program when people could apply and get 1,000 Ukrainian hryvnias for being vaccinated with 2 doses of vaccination. And this is a simple thing, and the requirements was to be Ukrainian citizen, to be 18 years old, and to have 2 doses of vaccinations, of course. And when you can design the experience of the service from the very beginning, from the scratch, not adopt existing offline services or paper forms, you are free to skip all unnecessary things. So what we've done, one person opened this service in a mobile application and was reading the descriptions of it. The application automatically checked, does this person 18 years old or not, because it's clear, we have the documents there. Does this person has 2 doses of vaccination or not, because the government knows that you have this COVID certificate in this application, and we can check automatically the doses. And of course, the citizenship is simple to test. So while the person was reading the description, the application already knew if this person allowed to apply for this money. And when the person tapped on the button on the first screen, receive the social assistance, we already said that you can get this money on which one card you would like to receive it. And you even didn't had to input the banking data for receiving this money, because it's like difficult for people, because banks come to us and say, we want people to input the IBAN numbers for this payment. And we understood that this is like impossible for people to input the IBAN for social assistance after vaccination. So we just made the integrations with the biggest Ukrainian banks. And like when you tapped like receive this social assistance, we made the request to the banks and said, does this person has the social banking card in your bank or not? If yes, you saw just this card in the list and you choose in which one bank you want to open this, to have this money to receive this payment. And that's all. This is the wonderful thing that like we filled the application form with your name, passport data, with your information about your vaccination requirements, etc. But you didn't have to fill it. And this is the best experience that the government can do, because imagine this in like any classic bureaucratic country, you would have to take your papers, your certificate from a doctor, go to the line of people, sit and waiting for the working hours and apply, show all the documents that confirms the requirements for this form. And this won't be the simple thing and wonderful experience. So you can do this. And another thing, before I think I will pass this mic to Volodymyr to tell more about the design approach. So for people to apply for public services in a smartphone, like people to apply for public services just generally online, they have to use the digital signature to sign the application forms. And that was the challenge when we started development of the public services in a mobile application, because we cannot, as a government, we cannot recommend to our people to have their digital signatures in the cloud storages, like in a cloud or Google Drive somewhere, or etc., because it's not enough secure. And we had to solve this challenge, because the another point that most number of people have no idea what is digital signature if they were not like the top managers, entrepreneurs, or state officials or lawyers, etc. And we just made another kind of experience under the hood. We have the huge integration with the state producing center, who can generate you this signature, and you will confirm your personality by biometry. I'll tell you about this. And then you get the separated key, on the digital key, a digital signature in a separated way, like half on the cloud, another half in the safety storage, etc., etc. But you do not have to care of it, because the usage, the experience that we designed together is like, you have to look into camera, and here we have the liveness detection, and we ask you to move your head or blink or smile to be sure that this is the real person looks into camera. Then we make the instant photo of you and match the biometry of your face with your face in a biometrical ID or travel passport. And just after successful confirmation, when artificial intelligence just matches your face, and after that you input the PIN code, and it's very simple, very simple for people, and it's very strict technology on the back. And you just have to spend like 3 seconds to sign the document, or 3 seconds to apply for public service, etc. And this is about the design and the experience. Yes. So, and what is the next slide? Yeah, I will not, Volodymyr, I think I will not spend time on the TV and radio, because I already took 20 minutes. I just can say that when you have the mobile application platform, you can solve different kinds of problems and challenges that you have, especially as Ukraine have during the war. And you have opportunity to launch services that never expected, like broadcasting TV, because Russians want to destroy and to make the informational campaigns. So you just open to see a lot of different kinds of opportunities, and the only thing that you have to care is like the right delivery and right description and right design of this service. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Slava.
So pass to you.
Yeah. A prominent, huge, bright introduction of Diia. And in contrast with you, I share the small part of our design journey, which we have started in 2019, and tell you about design document, of a small piece of our application. And I want to start from some limitations that we have. You can see it on the screen. So the first one, we had no time to iterate with user test. I understand that it sounds awful at the UX Design Awards conference, but it's a reality when you work with the government. So we have only 3 months to launch the app from the scratch. So I want to iterate. Yeah, I want to make some user tests and test our hypothesis and something like that. But I had no time for that, and our team had no time. On the our first version, we started only with 2 documents, driver ID and vehicle certificate, but we had to think about the scalability, and we had to create the architecture, the right architecture, and the right navigation scheme, which would not limit us in the future. So we have these 3 limitations, and we started with, now you can see the first wireframes of Diia App, and we started with Apple approach that Apple uses in Wallet app, and we want to use these small cards, which like bank cards or ticket for our documents, because we have only two documents, and that's all. That's all our functionality for the first version. And this is a first version of our app. It looks, I don't know, it looks nice with my photo on the second screen. So we have 3 cars here, and on the second screen we have the full information about document with the button for QR code to share this for officials, for QR scanner during the verification process. But it was the first touch, and after the first iteration and after the discussion inside our team, we understand that we had a problem with this approach because cars covers the previous document ID. The cards overlap one each other, and when you have 2 documents, it's not a problem. But when you have 10 documents, you don't exactly know what document is, and you can tap on it, you can open, you can switch to other documents. So it's a little bit inconvenient, I think. So we have to change our approach. And the second problem that when you show or when you share your document to the officials or to the, for example, for policeman officers, so you under pressure, and when you have to show document, you have no time to search for QR or to search for some information and tap and look where it is. So for QR, it's a little bit complicated route. So we have to improve this. And what is a digital document at all? It's a Ukrainian physical passport. So on our non-digital document, we have holograms, we have a chip, we have a photo, we have info for name, surname, sex, date of birth, and etc., etc., and we have unique number. But when we talk, when we speak about digital document, it's a QR. I can scan the QR or a barcode and receive all information that I need if I'm officials and or if I'm a policeman, police officer, or something like that. So the QR is important. And at the second approach, we try to save the first concept. We put some information on the face card. We put these numbers, and we put the QR on the second screen, but we lose the photo, and the size of the card was small, and we can't put photo on it to match it with other info that we have. So we drop this concept and go to continue to iterate. The third one was the idea that we can use the photo and the name and surname to identify all documents in list behind them. As you see, my photo and my name and surname, and after that, the driver license and vehicle certificate. But it's not look so bright and sexy. Okay, it's not obligatory for government app, but we want to to do it more stylish in design way. And when we have 3 or 4 documents in list, it's look so-so. But when we have only 2 options, only 2 items in our list, it looks not so good. So we drop this concept too. And after some iterations, we, I think, find the solution that solve all of our problems. This is a card system with a swipe. So why is this concept good for us? In 8 or 9 version of our design, and the final version not so bright and more calm in colors. But why we stop on this swipe card system? Because this solution, because with this solution we pass the grandma test. Because as I said, when you share the document, you under pressure. And with this solution, when you launch the app, you see the document on the main screen. You only the launch app and open the app, and you see your documents, and you see all your documents. You can swipe, and all your documents that you have on the main screen. You have no need to search for it in, I don't know, hamburger menu or in other lists. So what you see is what you get. With weak principle is very good for us. And what about scalability? So in the second or in the further version, we add the bottom bar with services and with notifications. So we have, and go further, we add a QR reader that you can scan the document of other person and check if it's valid or everything is good or not. So we have the base for further scalability, for the evolution of our web. It works like that. So I have a swipe with documents. When I tap, my document flip, and I can share the QR for verification. And if we speak about verification process, we have here 3 stages, or 2. The first one is a visual verification. When the official look at my photo, look at my name, surname, and can check, is it me, is it my document, and is everything is okay. So we have on the face of our document the information for visual verification, and the most valuable piece of information for passport is my name and surname. For vehicle certificate, it's a car number. For driver license, it's my photo and name, and so on and so. For each of type of document, we have the valuable piece of information that we put on face of the document. And the second step of verification is a scanning of QR or a barcode, because in such way the official can check if this document and valid, and if this app not a fake, so not just image. And I think it's a cool thing, because I see then different approaches to the government apps and to the government's documents, and some of them place the holograms and place some I don't know, sign on the document like they do in a real world. But we don't need that. We have a QR, we have a barcode, and the police officer have a Diia App with a QR scanner, and they can check if it's fake or not, just in I don't know, in a matter of minute. So and we have the not so frequent for less frequent cases when I need more detailed information for me, something to remember that I can forgot. So we have detailed info. I can click on them. Three-dot icon and open detailed information about match with this document. So it's work like this. And we have the same approach for all types of document. I think we have 10, yes, Slav, or 9 or 10 now.
14.
Oh, okay. We have 13 type of documents in our app. And we continue to develop Diia, and now we can iterate, and now we can test, because we have 20 million users, and we have time. So I can share all learnings with you, but one learning I can share, it's about that this simple and easy to use navigation scheme play with us a bad joke, because it's so easy to use, and it's so simple. So now when we want to share some important info with Ukrainians, we use the first card of a document for this info. For example, for now, during the wartime, the first card uses for donation to support our army, and for chatbot that can help to share information about enemy. So if you're on the temporary occupied territories, and you can have some information about Russians, about Russian military, so you can share securely by this chatbot, and we place it on the first card and first screen. And from the point of view, from user's point of view, it's a nice solution. So you can do it from the first screen. You no need to search for it in the menu. But from the point of designer view or of designers, it's not so good, because it's a place for documents, and for all other stuff and for all other functions we have different points in menu. So we solved it, but it's a pity, but I can't share this solution. In a week, we can share the updated version of our Diia app, and we share the updated version documents and this main screen with these important functions. But we can answer on questions and go to the FAQ section, I think. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Slava and Volodymyr. Maybe you can quit sharing your presentation so people can see you in the face directly, so also on mobile screens. So everybody out there on LinkedIn, if you've got questions to Volodymyr and Slava, this is your unique opportunity to actually ask people questions to people who have digitized a whole country. I was a little bit taken aback when I heard you, Volodymyr, development in 3 months. So how is that possible?
I don't know.
Okay, Slava, you're the person who asked Volodymyr to do this job, so you have to explain yourself.
I have to clear that 3 months it's not for the design. 3 months it's from the words like let's make the mobile application until beta testing the application with the national police with all the drivers of Ukraine.
And what was the results after 3 months? So you basically started to build the product while it was already in use?
No. I mean that it's like the minister called me to come to him for a meeting, and he said it's time to start work on the mobile application. And so we just said, what is the point of start? And he said like driver license, driver vehicle registration certificate, mobile application. And that was like the beginning of October of 2019. And I called to Volodymyr, we started thinking about it, discussing all that iteration that Volodymyr showed before. And on 16th of December, the people already started, 35,000 of people already started downloading Diia and started using it. Yeah, it was hard working, We do not have the holidays, the weekends.
Yeah, but there is there is an enormous deal of technological backend to solve. And you said when we talked before, this is not only about designing an app. You actually have to redesign public service. So this was happening before, correct? Before you launched the app.
Yeah, we have a service for police that uses driver license. No.
We started working on the legislation of digital driver documents while we were designing this, and while Volodymyr team was designing how it will be looked like. Another huge private company, development company, started building the architecture of Diia, and we still use this architecture. So this is like the basement was established that autumn, and even during we were not even on the beta test. So beta test started on December. Even before any test, we already started onboarding and educating and the national police, because the police should have to be ready for working with the digital documents. So this was a hard working. So it's like it's just we used to live in that kind of way for now, but it was like this is a private company, IT company who develops this, and it's always they want to be like flexible, etc., to have free time. But that was a moment like 16th of December was the Monday, I think, or something like that. But no matter. Like on Friday, we received the version that will be uploaded to the markets. and we see the problem that there is no adjusting resolution for like excess marks. I think that was the time. It's like was badly looking on the bigger phones, and like one of the options is like to go to the first beta with that size. It's like and fix that on beta. This is like classic approach. And the minister some moment agreed with that. And like maybe at 8 p.m. of Friday, he called me and he said that I thought about it and it's not right idea to go to the first beta with a bad resolution. So do what it's necessary to have the right resolution of the in this application in test flight on Monday morning.
Well, that's Ukrainian speed. I mean, like 3 months sounds like magic, but you made it. Actually, you know, we had another app in the awards a couple of years back, a very current one, also the Corona app here in Germany. It was also built in 3 months during lockdown. So all, you know, working from home. So things are possible. And what I understand is that you build the first basic application identification for the police, and then you started building on top of that.
Yeah.
So Volodymyr, apart from losing your hair or growing gray hair, you don't have so much yet. What was your challenge working in this kind of situation? How did you structure this whole work from your side, the design side?
Oh, it was a difficult time. But we have an experience in small team, and we work, I think, for that time 5 or 6 years together. So 3 weeks we close at office and work 24/7 with a short period. I think the game development company have some special name for that period, crunch time. So we have a crunch time for design, because we iterate, we share with Slava, we share with Mikhailo, with ministry, we share with development, we get a feedback from them, and then iterate of. And I remember that one of the iteration I made in a train from Kiev to Kharkiv. I went to some design conference, and in train I do some designs.
Slava, you have to add to something.
Yeah. I just to add a couple of words to clear to understand. I'm not just like a like classic state official. I come from business. I had my own digital company in 2019, and like in the autumn or in the end of the summer of 2019, I decided to do something for my country, for my people. And I joined the team of Ministry of Digital Transformation. And later, in the half of a year, I just started being not the advisor, but being the head of the department. And what I mean, like, I'm not just that some boss, you know, from state side who come to the small company or big company of design bureau and said you have to do this. And it's also I worked in a private sector. I had for some years I even had some small design team, and we are working on the web solutions. But like, and for now, on some hand, I'm a state official, but for this area, some way I'm a design director of Diia. And like when I discuss any iterations, any versions with Volodymyr, I am not discussing it's like I like this or I don't like this. We always discuss the different kinds of arguments and different kinds of the options, why it's necessary, why it's better, why it's good, and like it's like teamwork for the ministry and like the teams who make the designs or develop. It's not like just the orders of the service and like just bad guy who is asking you in the middle of the night what's the result.
Yeah, so definitely when you're an experienced IT manager, it wouldn't be possible to do such a project in such a short time without somebody like you. I'm wondering, you said you were making decision, changing designs according to this, but you couldn't test with users in such a short time. How were you sure to make the right decisions, and based on what?
I will answer generally, and Volodymyr will have some time to think about the right answer. So first of all, this is like one of the most difficult things that we have in our work on Diia, but this is one of the most of the pleasant things that we do in our side. So it's like you have to invent things. You do not have like to make a design of something. You have to invent things. You have to design the experience. And it's like it's wonderful because you just on the way that you are creating something that never existed before. But the problem is uh, as you're a citizen never had a driver license or any another electronic document, they will never answer you for a question what it should be better. You cannot make the exploring or discovery of this topic, etc. So you just have to like rely on your experience and rely on the experience from a private sector, from another kinds of solutions, and to find what is good, what is well. So this why like it was not necessary, to explain how Diia will be working before beta testing, because it's like explaining something that we never had in our lives at all. It's like I don't can understand how it's like to have a tail, and even I can see this, I can know, I cannot explain how to use it. So, and this
Yeah,
is like
now I
something
got you. Now I
misunderstood.
got you, and I agree with you, because that matches what you said, Volodymyr, what you showed us, that you basically came down to using learned interaction patterns, what we already have on our mobile phones, wallets, swiping, tapping, some very familiar patterns. Can you add more to this? Because like I can imagine that when you have to imagine a product sometimes, and that's the great products when they work, that people didn't even know that they would need, because they can't imagine them in the current state where they live. It's a huge risk, of course, but so how did you explore that?
Oh, it's only about experience and the experience of our team. It's about, okay, it's generally it's not so complicated, because you have, I don't know, 8 navigation schemes in mobile app. So you can, I don't know, create something different or totally new. So we look at the most popular apps. We looked at their patterns and try to I don't know, try to match with our situation. Then we have all our team and Slava's team have relatives, have friends, and we can share some early sketches with them. Do you understand what on the screen and what do you want to tap? So we can small tests. We do it all the way, but not the huge tests for this kind of governmental app.
Okay, so starting from experience and doing small tests, so people don't do this at home, and not working for a government, at least.
Yeah,
Slava.
I will add just a couple of words, because this is about the general approach for this. We in this, of course, this all the things that we've said, but just in addition, we had no task to reuse like everything, like that Volodymyr said, the banking cards, etc. We started from solving the task. It's like we have the mobile application. What it means that it's have a chance to make the vertical card, not a horizontal one. What is necessary to show to the policeman? Your photo, your name, the number of the document, and the category of the vehicles that you're allowed to drive. So we can make a short information. And it's like, it's always about solving the tasks. It's like when we reinvented the idea of copy of a document, because, you know, the driver document is very simple. It's like,
and
show
about
the code.
reducing to the necessary, right? That's what you're saying.
Yes. It's like when we had to make the passport, because we have the digitalized passport, we understood that this is the part of security, not to have all information from the passport on the front. We can make just, what do people use? They show his or her name, photo, and the like date of birth to confirm the age. This is like the most important information. So we can hide everything, and somebody who just have the best memory in the world will not have the information of your document.
But now you are user testing, because what did you say? 80% of adults in Ukraine, more than 19 million people use Diia. So
yes.
How do you do user research now? Which methods do you use, Volodymyr?
So it's like close user testing groups for a huge user testing group for 1,000 people, and to check some hypotheses and to check some new design solution. It's one way, and other it's a small focus.
Yeah, I can tell you that. Yeah. Here to add just the words Volodymyr said, that it's like first thing is from the times for now, Diia is not the single product. It's already the super app, because we are like the huge marketplace of different kinds of the things. And even every public service that we have, this is a common project with the Ministry of Interior, of Defense, etc. And it's always like separated products with separated audiences. And we made some patterns how people will interact with public services. And when we have to invent something like simple things inside of this, we do as Volodymyr said. But then we have numerous levels of the testing. It's like we have like concept, and we discuss this concept on this different levels, etc. And we sometimes we take some people from business, from a private sector, to discuss this on our like huge board of the designs. And then we make small testing groups for, like, we call it alpha testers. This is our team who can interact with that. And after the alpha testing, we go and the support team of Diia test the application, because they know most number of questions that people will come with this. And after that, it could be the time when we can change the text, we can change the steps, we can switch steps, number, etc. And then we go to the public beta testing. And after they go to the beta testing in the public, we gather the feedback from people. And sometimes, honestly, we have the situation, but when people like say that I cannot understand what should I do here. Yeah. And after that, we start like coming a few steps back, thinking how we can solve this problem. Sometimes we come to this with Volodymyr and think how we can rethink about this, and then we go again to the beta testing with updates, etc.
Yes, sounds very sensible. And that's also Marina Sobczynska's question there. So I hope it was answered. Any more questions? Keep them coming. We still have a couple of minutes. So actually, I was planning to ask you, because I read that Estonia, Poland are also building upon the code for their application. So do you consult other governments as well? What are their biggest challenges when they develop?
We even both can answer to this, because sometimes, as I know, governments can come to Volodymyr for consultations. But honestly, it's like,
but
first of all,
I play clear. Yeah,
yeah, that's true. First of all, it's like for me, I think that this is the question of the time when all the governments will have the mobile applications with documents, with public services, etc. And Ukraine, as we have a huge support from all the world, from a lot of countries, we always open to share that we have on our side. And of course, Diia and this solution is the one of the things that we can share to our colleagues. And it's like it could be different options because, of course, in like in the base of Diia, we have a lot of ideas from Estonian digital governance, and we use some their solutions under the hood and their approach and etc. because they are number one, and we can share some our experience with them from that time, and they are testing their application MRE with some another list of the services, and they are thinking how to develop this by themselves, but this is not like subscription because
so it's rather peer-to-peer cooperation, right? So did you learn anything from, for instance, from what the teams in Estonia are working on?
Yeah, sure. We always
can you share one or two items that were maybe a surprise to you, what you never thought about, or a design surprise?
No, we are thinking on the same way because we are in a huge cooperation with them. But I mean, that's like from that moment when we share something with Estonia, they will grow this application by themselves, and they will develop this application by themselves, and but this will be the same architecture, same approach. And one day we will move to Estonia without the physical passport, so etc. And but with Poland, for example, they have their own solution, absolutely. But we make some consultations, and we had a lot of calls and meetings with the digital ministry of digital team at the cabinet of ministers in Warsaw, and exchanging our thinking about some things. And so, sometimes we even have the blockers in legislation on the European Union level, because we know how Polish people can check the Ukrainians' documents in Diia, and how Diia could check the Polish documents, but the legislation of EU is too difficult and to launch such a solution. So, and we always open to export this for free to another countries. And the approach is always, it's like we always have to understand, is it possible to enroll Diia in the countries? Because the solution that we have, it's not Microsoft Office that you can just install on any software. It's like sometimes I had the situation in other countries when they do not have the identificator of the person in the registries, and it's like it's impossible to show the documents of the same person.
You're liking the basic data it is built upon, right? So
yeah. So we have to have the consultations, but then we open to share this database of the code. I think in January the Diia will be open source solution, so we just open to share everything, and to and this means that another countries will have another logo, another name, maybe even another design, by the same approach.
Can you share a little bit about the technology that is used in Diia? I heard there is facial recognition, but maybe there is some other.
We just have the huge microservice architecture, so it's difficult to answer to you simply. But the main thing, it's what it's necessary to say about the architecture. Diia has no data. So the approach of Diia architecture is data in transition. So when the citizen logged into application by some different solutions that we have in Ukraine, not login and password or etc. So this is should be the solution that help us to identify who is the citizen. And after that, it's like data in transition. That means that mobile application just requests the driver licenses registry, like does this person has the driver license? And if yes, that registry on the site of Ministry of Interior sends the information to the smartphone, and it helps. This is the part of our security.
One addition, and on each document we have the time when we go to the registry and get this data
information.
Sorry. There is no data stored on a mobile phone or in the app on the phone itself. Because what happens when you use your phone, for instance? How do you safeguard data, and how do you prevent from misuse?
Yep. So firstly, we do not have data of people in the backend of Diia. or in the Ministry of Digital Transformation storage, etc. But temporary storage, of course, used on the smartphone. But this is the safety part with the operation system. When the person loses the smartphone, it's very simple. To open the, you have to input the PIN code or Face Touch ID. Face Touch ID is not possible for the people who can find your phone. So the PIN code, and after 3 run PIN codes, all the data will be erased, and that would be the full logout from Diia. So this is the part of security. And then if, for example, you had a bad PIN code or somebody saw your PIN code or etc., and we'll go to your Diia, it's impossible to do anything with the document because you cannot change the photo in the registry. The photo comes automatically. You cannot make a copy of a passport because you have to pass the biometry of the face, etc. So no one can do something with your Diia. And this is the part of security. And even better, like, in Ukraine, we still have like as an option the old style paper passport with a physical photo inside of it. And if like some bad people will find this passport, they can change the photo and go to the bank and make a credit. But if somebody found your phone, nothing can be done with that.
So, but you need mobile connection at all times.
Yes, yes.
So if there is no connectivity to the servers of the different ministries, then basically the app won't work.
The application works, and we have different lifetime or expiry time for different kinds of documents. So for example, driver documents, we check twice a day because you can make an accident, etc., and you lose your driver license or sell your car or buy a car, etc. But for example, if you are the student, mostly student people stop being students twice a year during the winter and summer session, and like we can check does this person a student or not, like couple of times of or once for a month or once for 2 months, so etc. So we have different kinds of timeout. But if you have the mobile connection, you can check the documents, etc. But honestly, on Ukrainian experience, so we had a hard year before with a huge blackouts on last autumn and last winter. So Diia was available all the time, and like our mobile operators use the generators on the basic station, so people always had the connections, and there will be no problems. Was no problems with that. And we even have one offline special document during the war that does not need internet connection, but can confirm your personality, etc.
Right. I have a question, and maybe it's a critical one, but you won't mind, I guess. Facial recognition, of course, us being in Germany, this is a huge no-go area and a lot of fear about privacy, etc., etc. And actually, I was by chance talking with an Ukrainian citizens from Germany here earlier today, and she said, wow, it's a great app, we use it, but it's a bit spooky because it actually opens the door to facial recognition throughout the country, to a surveillance state potentially. Is that true, or is that just...
No. So how it works when you have the facial recognition? It's just the part of digital signature, and it's like the mobile application without our backend, without everything. Mobile application make the instant photo of you, and as request for your passport, on the same channel request just the photo of your passport, and then Neurus on the device for Neurus match two photos on the biometry. And if it's successful, you go to the next step. So we do not have the biometries of people, and the only thing that we have, like as a government, this is the demographical registry with the information of produced passports.
So it's basically like a token technology of temporary data overlaps and no storage.
Yes, that's true.
There was actually a question from the chat. There were many, actually. So you can still keep them coming for a couple of minutes. But one that I was also thinking about at the beginning from a designer in India, Subraj. How did you come up with the name Diia? And adding to that, what does it stand for?
two things in the same moment. First of all, Diia in Ukrainian means action. So it's like, it's a name of brand when people understand that something is happening. Yes, this is the action. And in the same time, in Ukrainian, Diia could be the acronym, because in Ukrainian, Diia is the 3 letters, not 4 letters. And it's like, could be the acronym for the state and me. So this is like win-win, action and the state and me in the same time.
Держава і я in Ukrainian.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, it's a great match. I had so many questions, so many details, but we're a bit running out of time because we usually know that an hour works well. Well, you mentioned that there is something coming up in the future, but before you can share a few things about what's next on Diia, I'd love to know from you what are your favorite features that Diia offers actually to citizens from your point of view, and maybe what you're starting, Volodymyr, from your design point of view, what's your favorite feature and why?
I like the document stripe because I see many times when people maybe on post office when they staying in a route for some parcels, they open the Diia and play with their documents. So they swipe, they tap, they look at their photo, and for me it's so touching moment. So I like this. I like this function.
So Slava, I mean, we had a talk before, and there was something about entertainment, which you didn't present yet about Diia.
Yes, entertainment. It's some interesting thing because in the very beginning of the Russian invasion, Russians tried to make the informational campaigns that Zelensky died, left Ukraine, Ukrainian forces capitulated, etc. And that is a very sensitive moment for the government because you can lose your people, and people will just live with that Ukrainian Ukraine lost, and etc. And we had to find a way how to deliver news to people. And we understood that on the moment of Russian invasion, we had 14.5 million of users. And we understood that it's like better delivery than YouTube, because not all of you people have the YouTube application on their smartphones and etc. And we just made a huge cooperation with the biggest and best service for streaming in Ukraine. It's Megogo, and like we started just having the news there, and people really was listening and watching news in shelters, in the way of evacuations abroad, etc. And on the occupied part of Ukraine, of course, on the south, on the north, and that was very necessary. But then we added the entertainment there. Firstly, we added the entertainment for kids because it's very simple. When you have already some broadcasting and you have the children in the shelter, you have entertained people for an hours, and they can like watch the like some cartoons or etc. But then we added there the live streaming of the Eurovision Song Contest. It's like because Ukraine was like taking part in the Eurovision, and the song that won the Eurovision after that was from every cafe and every bus in Ukraine. You heard that song, and like we started broadcasting the Eurovision Song Contest final step, and 1 million of people watched this through the mobile application Diia. And this is like helped us to understand that people really rely on this delivery of this service, first of all, and this is simple for them. But my favorite feature, I think, this is not from the design, maybe somewhere, but from experience again. In Diia, we have polls, like questions from the government, and this is why my favorite feature, because like, government of the world has no option how to ask something from people. They can like make the elections, they can make the referendum, or order the social surveys that when some agency will ask people, but in the same moment the government have to explain why the government decided to spend money on this social survey in the same time. And some moment, a couple of years ago, we understood as we have a huge audience, we can ask something. And we added polls, and this is the honest, we used experience from the Instagram. When you have the vertical video, when person like minister or president or head of like railways of Ukraine or etc. can ask you something and explain the topic, why it's necessary to ask about this, explain the question, and then explain the like why do we have different kinds of the option and what is the reason of different options of this like poll. And this is wonderful thing. And we started from a simple polls, and sometimes we even have the polls like from the parliament. And for example, the group of deputies from the parliament had a poll that before they prepared the law about this week day or work holiday, day free day for some for 8th of March in Ukraine. So no matter, and 2.2 million of people took part at that poll, and this had the impact on the law in the parliament.
So
and
it
this
was
is the
in real
fantastic
time.
thing.
So the poll
Yes,
was
like
fed back to the parliament in real time. So it was really like an
yes,
on time, right on time, transparent
yes,
cooperation
yes.
and governance with actually people being included.
Yes, that's true. And it's very simple, you know, like person explains you, you can vote, see the results online. The results are open and more than 2 million of people voted. So it's impossible to cover such a number of people by any survey. And this is one of the most fantastic things, and people can see the impact of their solutions.
Yeah, so this truly challenges, but also changes the way like government and people interact, and it becomes much more of actually, as you said, like a conversation, but also explanation, transparency. So this is, I think it's a beautiful feature to explain at the end, because it's way beyond technology. It's real a human experience that you build that can really build trust in a society, and this is something I think very powerful. Last question from our audience, Lubomir Koval, I think from the Czech Republic, from the name, from Cube Studio, a design agency. He asks, so what's in the new version of Diia? Will there be huge changes in the experience on?
I think yeah, okay, so yeah.
No, you're saying first.
Okay, I think it will be more like improvements of design. So you can change dramatically the apps that which uses 20 million people. So we learn Ukrainians that the digital documents looks like the cars. So we can change it dramatically. So we change it slightly, but we change. Yeah, and we have.
So what did you change? Very, very shortly, what did you change, and why?
Okay,
I can answer why. I can answer why. It will be simple. When we started this system that you saw on the screen, that was a system for a few documents and later for a couple of services. So we grew up to a lot of documents, a lot of services, and become the super app. And it's point when you have to understand, you have to grow up and solve the problems of growing. Because when you had like different kinds of colors for 3 documents or 5 documents, it's fine. But when you have 14 documents, it's not working anymore to have like, the rainbow of different kinds of colors, etc. So you have to solve this problem. And the same with like numerous of things that you have to like, after these years, you have to grow up and like buy yourself a new size of the clothes because you are like too big for that design that you had before.
Okay, very clear. So you're now making the iterative small changes in details to improve. And of course, you can't do a giant leap anymore because you already did so many. So it's just about improving on the run. And Well, we all wish you the best for Diia, for Ukraine, of course, for everybody to stay safe and continue working and doing this great work that you do for as long as
Thank you.
is possible. And above all, I think for changing the way government works. So I would love to see this in more countries in Europe and in the world, and it's coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Slava and Volodymyr, it's been a pleasure to talk with you, and thanks for the lively discussion. And sorry for everybody out there if we couldn't bring all questions in, but just reach out to both of our guests on LinkedIn and just ping them directly with questions, and I think they will be very happy to answer to you. Thanks for joining today. If you missed anything, just check out our website for the recording or here on LinkedIn. We'll do a short break over the holiday season, but we'll be back in January. And actually, watch out for January the 17th, when we will present the Gold Award winner. And that's a completely different use case, completely different industry. It's healthcare. So we will be talking with Philips, actually, from the Netherlands, how they redesigned in a very nuanced way the alarm sounds of hospital machinery, which impact not only people working in healthcare, but also patients and family members on a continuous basis, above all in ICUs. So this is a completely different, very nuanced sound experience project. So join us again on January 17th when you have time. And until then, stay well, wherever you are, stay safe, and see you again very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.